every 100 men that are promoted to manager, only 81 women are promoted. Yes, investigated by McKinsey. And that's not just a number. It's a reality I see every day with ambitious women. Yes, you've done everything right, yet your career stalls. Now, here's the twist. The very strategies you think are protecting your career are often exact ones that are keeping you stuck. Now, stay with me because what I'm about to share flips everything you've been told about your career success. So, let's start with the uncomfortable truth. When you consistently choose the safe option, you're not creating security, you're creating invisibility. Think about the behaviors we're told that are professional. This is how we should behave. So, wait for the perfect moment to speak up. Yes, can I say something? Can I add something? I want to add something. Or follow the process exactly as it's written. So you wait until it's your turn. Or hold back until you're absolutely certain, because boy, if you say something that might not be incorrect. And last but certainly not least, seek approval before making any move. Let me ask my boss first. Ooh, I should never talk to that person because that means I go over the head of my boss. Yeah, and you know what? You do all this because it feels responsible, mature, and strategic. But here's what really happens. You train people to see you as, yes, predictable, risk aversive, and no leadership material. And that is because leadership today is about navigating all the uncertainties, making decisions with incomplete information, and being willing to champion new directions without absolutely being sure. Now, I learned this the hard way in my early UN career. In the beginning, I stayed quiet in every meeting, waiting until my thoughts were perfectly polished. And then, of course, I always saw this same colleague jump in first, almost with, yeah, same ideas, less polished. And then she got the recognition. And I got silence. So when I started to see that pattern, I started to realize that my safe strategy was making me invisible. So why do we do this to ourselves? Because playing it safe, well, I know why we do this. It feels comfortable. Familiar patterns, less vulnerability. Staying in your expertise zone, less risk of being wrong. Waiting for permission, less pressure of owning the outcome. Now, but comfort zones don't just limit growth, they become like traps. And every time you choose the familiar, well, the unfamiliar feels even more scary than it did before. So, picture this. A bold initiative is proposed in a meeting, and your instinct is to weigh it all the risk first before saying anything. Valuable? For sure. But while you're analyzing in your head, someone else raises their hand. Yeah, I'll lead this. And not necessarily because they're more qualified, but because they realize visibility is, well, willing to embrace uncertainties. And that's when opportunity starts bypassing you. Not because leadership doesn't value your expertise, but because they've learned not to look at you for bold thinking. Yeah, I've been there too. In one of the board roles, I played the cautious advisor. And guess who got trapped with the stretch project that nobody wanted and yeah, was doomed to fail? It was because nobody spoke up. They said, oh, let's let the reliable person do this. Me. And what do? I accepted it. So, and the one really nice project, the one that was set up to be really great, if it should have been successful, yeah, that went to the one who was all vocal about it, not me. So, Here's the kicker. The signals you think you're sending by playing safe are completely different from the signals the leadership is receiving while you play that. You think thorough research shows thoughtfulness. They see hesitation. You think waiting for clear direction shows respect. They see dependency. You think building consensus shows collaboration. They see conflict avoidance. And this misalignment becomes now a self-fulfilling prophecy. Leadership stops offering you challenges that would prove your readiness because you've trained them to see you as the reliable executor, not the strategic innovator. Think about the last big opportunity in your organization. Were you even considered? If not, ask yourself, have my safe behaviors trained leadership to overlook me? If this feels uncomfortably familiar, that recognition you feel right now, that's the first step towards change. Now, most career advice treats symptoms like network more, skill up, communicate better. But if your fundamental approach is rooted in playing it safe, none of those tactics will create a breakthrough. So, the women who break through don't just add new skills. They change how they show up. From seeking security to creating value. From avoiding risks to managing risk strategically. From waiting for permission to ask intelligent ownership. And no, it's not about being reckless. It's about understanding that in today's workplace, the biggest risk is becoming irrelevant by staying silent and safe. So, what does this breaking through actually look like then? It looks like raising your hand for a project before you feel ready. It looks like sharing your perspectives in the first 10 minutes of the meeting, not in the last. And it looks like championing an idea even when you don't have every variable nailed down, even if you don't know all the nooks and crannies of your idea. So these small courageous moves send a powerful signal. You are ready for bigger challenges. Now, your plateau isn't about your capability. It's about your strategy. And strategies, they can be changed. So when you pair your expertise with strategic courage, everything changes. So, if today's videos make you realize your safe strategies might be sabotaging your growth, you're not alone. Recognition is the first step. But the real shift comes when you start practicing strategic courage. So tell me in the comments, what's one safe behavior you now see, it's probably holding you back? Because your story might be the spark another ambitious woman needs. And don't miss next week's episode, because I'll walk you through some specific courage building strategies you can start using immediately. So hit subscribe and the notification so you don't miss out, because your plateau isn't permanent. It's information. And change starts the moment you decide to show up differently. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you next week.